Hey, good morning. It is Friday, March 15th, and I'm writing more paper today. Yesterday I worked out kind of like a pretty rigid word count for myself for every day for the next two and a half weeks, basically until the day my dad and sister get to London, with the hopes that by the time they get to London, I have solid drafts of all of my papers. So then once they leave, there's just some revising and tweaking and editing, and bibliographies. But yeah, so today is a big writing day. I have like 1,000 word count to reach. So I'll be doing that all afternoon and trying to crank out 1,000 words and get my my making policy work paper about to the halfway point. Actually, probably a little more than the halfway point. I'm having trouble with words in this moment. I think it's about 700 words right now that I wrote over the last 2 days, and then today hopefully write 1,000, and then my goal between Saturday and Sunday is to get it to the final like 1,300 words that I need to. The weekend's kind of busy and oddly structured, so I have to find the writing time somewhere in between the things that I'm doing, which is fine. I don't have reading to do in this moment, so there's time to write, although it is, like I said, I think yesterday, it's hard to write when you sometimes just have short windows of time. But yeah, so my goal is to just be cranking out written word for the next many weeks. We'll see how it goes. Now that I'm writing my making policy work paper, I have a better sense of what I want to do to restructure my law and regulation paper, which is good. So I feel like I have more clarity on that, and hopefully I'll get a chance to edit that before I have to send it to a partner for peer review, but we'll see. If not, I'll spend some time during the week working on editing and revising that a smidge. But that one's close. Just like less than 1,000 words to go, but definitely needs some structure work still. And beyond that, since it is Friday, I don't have class. I'm about to head out for a run. Continues to be just impossibly windy outside. Again, gusting 20 to 30 miles an hour. And my window, when it's open, when I'm not filming a video, it's like you can hear it howling in and it rattles my door, my big super heavy door. So that's no good, but the sun's peeking out. I'm going to just run outside today because sometimes, even though the gym isn't like super far away, it still requires a train transfer and all of that nonsense. And it's just sometimes easier to suck it up and run in the wind and get it done with. So about to do that. And then we'll go somewhere to write. I don't know, library or the student center, somewhere where I can find a space and just type out words. And I had a nice morning. It's closer to 10 right now. And I have this thing. So, I mean, I got enough sleep last night, but I also I have this thing where I woke up at 6:15. I don't set an alarm on days that I don't have early class because my body pretty naturally just wakes up at a good time as long as I go to bed at the right time. And so I woke up like I normally do without my alarm around 6:15. And I have this thing where I have this tension of do I get up or do I sleep more? And my inclination is always to get up and not necessarily do things, but to be awake and appreciate just time to quiet time for a little bit. So, I put on a podcast and listen for a while, and then I messed around on my computer for a little bit, and just did that for 2 hours and for some reason I choose that over sleep, which is always fascinating to me. Why? I mean, like sleep, I love feeling well rested, but there's something about just having that time to like do nothing but be awake and doing nothing. It just feels really good. So yeah, that's that. And what else is on my mind today? Woke up to bad news about a terrorist attack in New Zealand, and that was just so disheartening. And I mean, there's enough information out there to kind of have a general sense of what happened, but it is just, anytime something like that happens, it's just so sad. And like people don't deserve that. The Muslim community doesn't deserve that. They are, a kind and generous population. It just I'm just so frustrated and sad by it. And the idea that there's such terrible hate in our world is it just blows you back when you hear and read something like that, and you don't know how you can help that community besides just continue to, when you can, show them kindness and grace and and community. So it's just really sad. And that's on my mind this morning. I was trying to read a little bit of news about that. There's a lot of Brexit news that's ongoing. And then there's, always news coming in from at home in the States, that you're trying to sift through and make sense of, and whether it's kind of the ongoing news surrounding the president or the ongoing news surrounding the 2020 campaign. I'm trying to pay attention and trying to get good news and make sure that my news sources are quality sources, and that I'm kind of trying to really understand what's going on and kind of put all of the pieces together. So yeah, I don't know. News is on my mind this morning, and the way we consume news and the way, news can help or hurt our understandings of the world. And I think it's also on my mind because my making policy work paper is on information campaigns, and none of some of the news might be a little bit related to information campaigns, but just I've been thinking a lot about how information is spread and how people access and use information more generally. And yesterday, in the part of the paper I was writing, I had to write kind of more extensively about the dangers that information brings, and the ways in which information can harm communities and can harm people, and the ways in which that governments can and have in the past used information to justify positions that are dangerous positions, and Nazi Germany being maybe perhaps the most extreme. I don't know if there'd be something more extreme than that example around the propaganda they used to systematically eliminate races of people. But yeah, so I've just been thinking a lot about information, the way information is spread, and the danger that information can have, even though a lot of times information is good, and if you have true facts, that's good, but it's getting harder and harder to understand what is a fact and what is an opinion, and it's easier and easier for people to say, well, this source says that it's true, and even if that source is lying or wrong or whatever, there are places in the world that kind of confirmation bias, I guess, is the easiest way to explain it. So information is dangerous is our lesson for the day. Also just thinking about making sure to be kind to people. There's a lot going on in the world, and even though maybe people aren't affected by, the day-to-day kind of news cycle, or aren't paying as much attention to the day-to-day news cycle as I am, or other people that I know, they are certainly affected by it. And maybe Brexit isn't top of mind for every person in the UK, but at the end of the day, people carry that stress, and maybe people, I don't know. It's just, I'm thinking a lot about news and kindness and information. And I didn't really think that through before I started recording, but just off the cuff this morning. So today, gonna run, gonna be kind, gonna write papers. That's not a bad day. So anyway, have a good day. I will talk to you tomorrow. Make good choices.